Hello and welcome to the Tophet Alliance Church update for the weekend of February 13th. This week, the province announced new health guidelines that take effect immediately. So as of February 9th, capacity limits on places of worship have been removed. Distancing between households remains in place and masks remain mandatory except for children 12 and under as of February 14th. Then, starting on March 1st, if hospitalizations are trending downward, additional restrictions will be lifted. So this is both welcomed and concerning news. Welcomed because we all long for the pandemic and related restrictions to be over. It is a little concerning because there is still considerable strain on the health system. So continue to uphold and encourage all who are in healthcare. Pray for wisdom for all involved in the decisions about the pace of lifting restrictions. I want to add a word about the Ottawa and border protests that are in the news. 3 points I want to make. 1, guard your heart. In Proverbs 13:10 it says, "Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice." We may be tempted to speculate on the pride in the heart of those in the protests or responding to the protests. Don't yield to that temptation. Rather, guard your own heart against the pride that surfaces as we form and share our opinions and coddle our ego with a feeling of being right. God cares far more about his people being humble than about them being right in all the polarizing issues that will soon be a footnote in history. Second, remember God is in control. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." In Psalm 46:10. And third, we are called to pray. Pray for a peaceful solution. Pray for the leaders who make difficult decisions about when it is safe to lift restrictions. And pray that as people of God, we would find effective means to demonstrate compassion to those most affected by the pandemic. So having said all of that, I'm grateful the pandemic is waning and that restrictions will be lifted as the strain on the health system subsides. We don't want to celebrate the end of the pandemic prematurely, but it is nice to think that in a few weeks we may be able to put chairs closer together, sing without masks, and enjoy coffee together. So I encourage you to invite people you know to join with us, particularly as restrictions ease and as they are comfortable. I want to give you an update on a few programs. There are a number of events in February to be aware of. The Esther Bible Study for girls, grade 9 through 12, led by Pam and Morgan Sly on the book of Daniel. That starts again. It's this Sunday, February 13th, and from 1 to 3 p.m. at the church. And on February 20th, we will be resuming Sunday school, so register. And those volunteers, if you haven't got all your forms in, please do that as soon as you can. As well, there is a Daniel Bible Study beginning on February 23rd. Wednesdays, 1:30 p.m. at the church. There's an open invitation to a video message series on the book of Daniel by Dr. David Jeremiah called The Agents of Babylon. Each video is about a half hour long, and sessions will be led by Dan Adrian. So come and bring your friends. Our annual meeting takes place February 28th. It's a Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. The nominating committee reports are available, have been distributed and posted, and annual reports will be distributed by next weekend, February 20th. So when you get those reports, read them and plan to come on February 28th for a time of discussion about the opportunities that we'll be able to pursue once the restrictions are lifted. Our message series is called Living Our Belief, and this week we're going to be looking at the section that talks about being together in communion. The familiar words of 1 Corinthians 11:23-26 are often read during communion services. This weekend, we will participate together in communion, and we'll consider the wider context of these verses. Of particular interest is the caution in 1 Corinthians 11:27 against eating the bread and drinking the cup in an unworthy manner. Over time, this caution has been used to develop layers of church regulation about who can serve or participate in communion. Well, I encourage you to read 1 Corinthians 11:17-34. Paul's conclusion in this section says, "So then, my brothers and sisters, when you gather to eat, you should all eat together." In light of the entire passage, what do you see as the central teaching about communion? And how does that relate to how communion is practiced in churches today? That's what we're going to be considering in our service on Sunday. So thank you for joining me in this update, and thank you for joining on Sundays at 10 a.m. in person or live stream, or joining later online at your convenience. Take care. God bless.